So a couple of days ago, I posted a poll online because we've got recent news about Mortal Kombat 11 officially being over, how they will not support the game anymore, so no more patches, no more DLC. And so, they were saying we're moving on to our next project for NetherRealm Studios. Great. So I posted a poll on my community tab page on my YouTube page about what is the next game you would want to see from NetherRealm Studios. And I gave the choices of Injustice 3, the Marvel fighting game, Mortal Kombat 12, or Mortal Kombat remastered game like Shaolin Monks, because that seems to be a popular topic, and that's actually the most watched video on my channel, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks remastered, as far as like the possibilities of that happening, and clues that Ed Boon has left on his Twitter about that. So surprisingly, it's pretty much at 200 votes, and 60% of the people that did this poll said they would like to see Mortal Kombat 12. I was shocked by that number. When I posted a recent video about, how Mortal Kombat 11 is finished, and there was even a leak that came out around the same time, this time last year, talking about a Mortal Kombat versus DC2, the Dark Multiverse, and how that we could get an announcement sometime in August of this year, or it would be released this year, or possibly even sometime in the fall because of DC fandom. I just thought it was interesting that, we've had all this hype about the next thing happening from NetherRealm Studios. So as far as another Injustice game, everybody talking about this Marvel fighting game where, MK versus Marvel, or something to do with Marvel, or maybe another MK versus DC, or I even talked about other ones like Invincible, or having like a Killer Instinct game, because we have some weird, Microsoft showing some love to Ed Boon and to some of the to the Mortal Kombat posts, which is a little fishy because, like I talked about in a previous video about Killer Instinct and the possibility of Microsoft even buying NetherRealm Studios specifically from Warner Brothers Games, it could happen. So it's interesting that given all of these choices about what the next NetherRealm Studios game could be, fans are still picking Mortal Kombat 12. Now, I personally am okay with that, and I'm happy with that. I just think it's weird because, a lot of people in the comments on that video were like, nah, I'm not going to play Mortal Kombat 12. I'm pissed off about Mortal Kombat 11, and nah, I'm not going to give my money to NetherRealm Studios anymore, and oh, I'm whatever. Like, people just were angry and mad, and there was a lot of, it was like 50-50 up in the air where they want to see Mortal Kombat continue. I'm like, nah, give it a break. Give me something else, I heard a lot more people talking about Injustice more than I heard them talking about Mortal Kombat 12. So it's really, really interesting to me that would be the case. So I don't know. I think, with Mortal Kombat 12, I've already posted a video about what it could possibly be about as far as it being possibly Onaga's revenge. We have another Titan come into play and basically helps them, it's interesting how they can always do this with Mortal Kombat lore. It seems like it's just like any other movie where you think this is like the end-all be-all villain, but there's always someone better or harder or stronger or more powerful than that person. And so they always come like, oh, well, you thought Chronic was bad? Wait for the Titan, even bigger than her. So you're like, I didn't know there was anybody bigger than that. So it's interesting to see that, if Mortal Kombat 12 were to happen, is it going to pick up right where Mortal Kombat 11 left off with the Great Kung Lao? I mean, I've had people on my comments give some really good descriptions of what the game could be about. I mean, there was basically, I remember one I was reading about having the kids of the kids, so having kids of Cassie Cage and having them have interesting names, and it was actually a really good description. Some of the people that watch my videos and just Mortal Kombat fans in general, y'all have some really good ideas, and I think NetherRealm Studios should be like trolling the comments and picking ideas and, listening to fans, because they got some interesting ideas, and I guarantee those games would be very interesting. So, as much as 60% of people wanting Mortal Kombat 12, would you be unhappy if it was not Mortal Kombat 12? Would you be happy if it was something different for now? So, I mean, I've had people joke also in the comments that, oh yeah, Mortal Kombat 12 is going to happen. It's going to be, heck, if this game was only 2 years of support, almost 2 years of support, this game's going to take longer than that to come out. So between 2023 and 2025, possibly. So we've got a little bit of ways to go. But in between that, if it's not Mortal Kombat 12, because I think they will take a break. I think they'll take a break. So what would you want to see from NetherRealm Studios? I know I've talked about this in the previous video, but now that I've made other videos about individual possibilities, and now that we're here, kind of at a fork in the road, and fans have said so far that you think Mortal Kombat 12 is what you want. What do you want? Would you want Mortal Kombat 12, since you're watching this video? Mortal Kombat 12, do you still agree with that choice? Do you still think that's the path you want to go down? Or would you want an Injustice 3 game? Or would you want a Marvel fighting game? Or would you want a Mortal Kombat remastered game? You know, there's that rumor about the Mortal Kombat collections online, which is supposed to be like an anthology, possibly of 1 through 3, or it could be 9 through 11, or it could be what people really hope is like the 3D era, you know, I guess 4, Deception, Armageddon, you know, those games. That would be really cool. Do you want that? Do you want an Invincible game? Do you want something totally like kind of out of left field that you would never expect? Do you want Invincible? Do you want, what was it? Do you want do you want Killer Instinct? Killer Instinct, I think that would be a really cool franchise for them to kind of throw out, because it's similar to Mortal Kombat, but I don't feel like Killer Instinct really has like the lore that has been given to it from like NetherRealm Studios. I know people don't like the lore all the time. They think it's that NetherRealm Studios doesn't do a good job of keeping up with it, but I think they do a relatively good job overall with, you know, the story. I mean, it's not great all the time, because clearly there was a video that I watched online from True Underdog, and you know, he basically talks about like the worst scene in Mortal Kombat 9. So, or the worst scene like Mortal Kombat story ever, which is Sindel basically killing everybody. So, I mean, I agree that there are times where they don't get the story right all the time, but for the most part, I do enjoy the story and the lore and what they've come up with, and it does keep me entertained and wanting more. So yeah, what are your opinions on the poll? Do you agree with the poll, or does that reflect your choice as well? Let me know in the comments below. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, hit that like button. If you want to see this one, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time on the Mashup.